The first thing that I did when I decided that I wanted to walk away from my corporate career was try to figure out what I was going to do after I left corporate. What was I going to do to replace my income? And that was absolutely the wrong first step. By focusing on how I was going to replace my income first and what I was going to do once I was on the other side of corporate, led me down a path that I didn't really want to go down. It put me in a situation and in an environment that I didn't want to be in anymore. I was focused on the speed. How quickly can I get out of the corporate space? So, how can I just leverage what I know now? Let's get me replacing my income as quickly as possible. I just have to quit my job. In this process, I failed to ask myself some very critical questions. The first question is pretty obvious, but I just really wasn't exploring it, and that is, what is it that I'm trying to get away from? What is it about the corporate space that I really want to get away from? Failing to ask this question made me think that if I just offered a repackage of what I was doing in the corporate space as someone independent, that I would be okay with this, that that would give me enough freedom that I would be able to work everything else out. The truth was, I had just outgrown that environment and I didn't want to be in it anymore in any way, even as an independent. The next thing that I wasn't doing in the beginning when I was putting together my plan was asking myself, what do I want my life to look like? What do I want my days to look like? Where do I want to be spending my time? I hadn't even opened my mind to this, so I was building basically a replica of what I had. I wasn't changing my schedule, I wasn't changing anything else. And when I finally stopped to think about it, I realized, geez, I don't want to stay where I am. I want to move to a different place. I don't want to keep my kids in the same school. I want to take them out and homeschool them. I want slower mornings. I want to have time to focus on my health. The last thing I wasn't doing was asking myself what kind of work I did. All I was doing was focusing on what I knew I was good at, what I knew I could do, and not asking myself what I want to do. It wasn't until I started to get these questions answered that things started to shift. The true plan built on what I really wanted finally started to come together, and a little over 5 months ago, I quit my job. You don't need to make any of the mistakes that I made when you start planning your corporate exit. You can build a plan that's right for you the first time. You can build a plan that's life first, career second.